Spartacus the gladiator who defied Rome. Spartacus, a name that has echoed through history as a symbol of defiance, a gladiator, a rebel, and the man who dared to challenge the might of Rome. But who was Spartacus really, and what if his rebellion had succeeded? Born in Thrace, Spartacus was captured and sold into slavery, forced to fight for his life in the gladiatorial arenas of Rome. But he refused to accept his fate. In 73 BCE, he and 70 other gladiators staged a daring escape, seizing weapons and beginning what would become one of the largest slave uprisings in history. From a small band of rebels, his army swelled to over 70,000 escaped slaves, gladiators, and outcasts, all united under one goal: freedom. They defeated Roman legions time and time again, proving that even the most powerful empire in the world could be shaken. For 2 years, Spartacus led his army through Italy, winning battle after battle against Rome's finest commanders. But the empire would not stand for such defiance. In 71 BCE, Rome sent its full military might under Marcus Licinius Crassus, one of the richest and most ambitious men in the Republic. Spartacus's forces were ultimately trapped and crushed. He is believed to have died in battle, though his body was never found. In retaliation, the Romans crucified 6,000 of his followers along the Appian Way, a brutal warning to any who dared rise against them. But what if things had gone differently? What if Spartacus had defeated Crassus and Rome's legions? Spartacus's victory over Rome would have shattered the very foundation of the Republic. Rome was not just a city, it was an empire built on slavery, conquest, and military dominance. If Spartacus had defeated Crassus and marched on Rome itself, the consequences could have been world-changing. Imagine a scenario where Spartacus, now leader of a free people, seizes Rome. With the Senate fleeing or surrendering, the Republic could have collapsed, leading to a new form of governance, one where former slaves and commoners ruled instead of wealthy elites. But would Rome's other powerful figures, like Pompey or Julius Caesar, allow this to happen? Pompey, returning from his campaigns in Spain, may have rallied forces to crush the rebellion. Caesar, a rising political star, might have seen Spartacus as either a threat or an opportunity, choosing to either ally with him or destroy him to cement his own power. If Spartacus had held Rome, would his new state have survived long enough to establish itself? The Roman economy was deeply dependent on slave labor. A successful revolt could have triggered slave uprisings across the empire, in Greece, North Africa, and even Spain. The entire Mediterranean world might have descended into chaos, with Rome's once mighty structure collapsing into a patchwork of warring factions. But governance is different from warfare. Could Spartacus, a gladiator turned rebel, have ruled effectively? He fought for freedom, not empire. Would he have abolished slavery entirely, or simply replaced Rome's elites with his own ruling class? If Spartacus had sought to form alliances with other enemies of Rome, like the Gauls, Germanic tribes, or Parthians, he could have built a coalition strong enough to challenge Roman supremacy indefinitely. Instead of a Roman Empire, we might have seen a fragmented, warring world where no single power dominated Europe and the Mediterranean. Alternatively, Spartacus might have chosen a different path. Rather than ruling Rome, he could have led his people out of Italy. He had once sought to cross the Alps and escape Roman control altogether. If he had succeeded, thousands of former slaves and gladiators might have founded a new kingdom in Gaul or Thrace, creating a safe haven for the oppressed. This alternate history raises endless questions. Would a Rome without slavery have survived in any form? Would a weakened Rome have fallen to outside invaders centuries earlier? Would democracy and human rights have emerged sooner? Or would Europe have splintered into small, warring states? Spartacus' rebellion was ultimately crushed, but his legacy endured. His story has inspired revolutions, rebellions, and movements for freedom throughout history. What do you think? Could Spartacus have truly built a free world, or was Rome too powerful to overthrow? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more historical what-if scenarios.